Hello book nerds, welcome to Bookshelf Bunny. I'm Kim, and today we'll be doing our January wrap-up as well as a belated Christmas book haul. Alright guys, so as you know, one of my goals for 2021 is to read 100 books. And to do that, I need to read roughly 8 books a month or so. And for January, I am on par. So far, we're doing all right. This is what I've read in January. The first book I read was Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Rowell? Not sure. That book I gave a 5 out of 5. The second book I read in January was The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and this takes place in a crazy, cruel fairyland. Absolutely fascinating and captivating. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 as well. Third book on the roster was The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. And this one was another fantasy story, keeping in line with my fantasy TBR, which I'm going to be wrapping up at the end of February. And this one took place in a fascinating world of gods and mortals. This one I also gave a 5 out of 5. It's also the first book of the Inheritance trilogy. Next was The Sword of Destiny, one of the Witcher books by Andrzej Sapkowski, also a 5 out of 5. If you're interested to know more about that one, check out my reading blog. Next, I read The Broken Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. This is book 2 of the Inheritance trilogy. And this one I only gave a 4 out of 5. It didn't hit me in the same way that The 100,000 Kingdoms did, but it was still a really engaging and fun read. For my Book Riot Read Harder reading log, that has a series of 12 reading challenges, as you might recall from my January goals video. And one of those challenges was to read a book about books. And to do that, I read a book called For the Love of Books by Graham Tarrant. And unfortunately, I only gave this one a 3 out of 5. The 7th book of January was Heartless by Melissa Meyer. And this one is a really fun take on the Alice in Wonderland world. We follow the Queen of Hearts before she's the Queen of Hearts. And I gave this one a 5 out of 5. And lastly, I read A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in A Court of Thorn and Roses series. Of my January reads, my favorite by far was Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Rowell? Not sure. Still struggling on that one. Mostly because if you're familiar with her work, you'll know that she wrote a book called Fangirl, wherein her character Kath is obsessed with writing fan fiction for a popular book series called Carry On. It was really neat to be able to delve into the book that Kath loved so dearly. And I don't blame her. After reading Carry On, Simon and Baz, their enemies to lovers romance, it's beautiful. It's cute, it's lighthearted, and it's really Harry Potter-esque, kind of satirical in terms of making fun of Harry Potter a little bit. You see a lot of parallels, but all in all, it was such a fun read. My least favorite was For the Love of Books, the book that I read for my reading log challenge. And that's only because for every interesting fact and anecdote and tale about authors and the writing process and the publishing histories, for every interesting one, there were 2 others that I really didn't care about. And it kind of read like a textbook, so it was a slog to get through, which was really kind of disappointing. When I picked it up, I was excited to get a history in a fun way, but it was more like a textbook way. So again, that one was a 3 out of 5. It wasn't terrible, it was interesting, but it was tough to get through. And that brings us to my belated Christmas book haul. My husband's family and I, we celebrated our Christmas virtually close to the end of January, and we were really hoping that we'd be able to get together by then. That's why we held off and didn't do Christmas in December. But our COVID-19 restrictions did not change. We are currently restricted to gathering within our own households with our immediate family only, so I couldn't bring them over and we couldn't go over there, which is always a bummer. We were really hoping that those restrictions were going to be lifted by the end of January. Unfortunately, they're not. They're actually extended now until February 19th. So rather than waiting, we did virtual Christmas. And I received an Indigo gift card. So again, Indigo Chapters Kohl's, if you are familiar with Canada, is one of our big box chains. And with that gift card, I got Alice in Wonderland. This is on its way to me in the mail right now. I don't think I've ever actually read the real version. I've read a lot of spin-offs and takes on the story, and of course I've seen the movies, all the Disney, and I've seen a couple other movies that are Disney-esque. So I'm intensely familiar with the story, but I've never actually read the book. This one is also on its way to me. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This was highly, highly recommended to me by my friend Diamond at A Little Geek, A Little Chic. Check out her channel, she's fabulous. She recommended this to me and she speaks really highly of it. And I have read the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, and I was in love with that book. If that tells me anything, it's that this is gonna be worth it. I am so excited for this to get here. I'm also waiting on this one from Indigo, End of Watch by Stephen King. This is the 3rd book in the Mr. Mercedes trilogy. I received the first 2 books in this series from my husband for Christmas, and so naturally, with my Indigo gift card, I had to get the 3rd. And the last one from Indigo is The Outsider by Stephen King. And my husband's family also gave me an iTunes gift card, which I used a portion of to buy anime because nerd, and a portion of to buy books. So I purchased on my iBooks app Dawn Shard by Brandon Sanderson, which is again part of the Stormlight Archive. This one's sort of a spin-off story within the overall story. I can't remember which 2 books this one falls between. I also got, ooh, that's really glary, sorry, iPad problems. That's good, I think. The Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. So Diamond with A Little Geek, A Little Chic added this to her TBR recently this year and has inspired me to pick it up again. I did read this 100,000 million years ago when I was in high school, so it's been a long time, and I really enjoyed it. But I don't remember a lot about the 2nd and the 3rd book, so only the 1st one really stands out to me, and that's probably just because it's been so long. So I'm gonna reread the whole thing. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of the lovely books I've shown you here today. I would love to hear from you. All right, book nerds, that's it for me. And as always, happy reading.